Let's talk about something really tough, a feeling that's just incredibly painful. What happens when it feels like you're the only one fighting for your relationship?
And it really boils down to this one simple question, doesn't it? Are you the only one trying? Are you always the one sending that first text, making that first call? If that hits home even a little bit, then you're in the right place. But hey, before we dive into the problem, let's just take a second to remember what the goal is. What does that healthy, amazing mutual connection even feel like? It's that spark, right? That feeling of being pulled toward each other. Remember that? That initial buzz where you're so excited that even a few minutes apart feels way too long. They're always on your mind. You always want to share something or just hear the sound of their voice. It's completely effortless. And let's be super clear here. This isn't about being needy. Not at all. It's a sign of true affection that goes both ways. A quick text, a call, it's just how we feel close to someone. And when you both feel that pull, that's when the connection gets really strong. So, what happens when that feeling just fades, but only from one side? Well, the whole dynamic shifts, and suddenly you find yourself in a much more painful reality. And this is where it really hurts. You start to see this huge gap. On your side, you're doing everything you can to connect. You're calling, you're texting, you're trying to meet up. And on their side, it's just a wall of excuses. Oh, my phone was on silent. I was just so busy at work. Every single one feels like a little rejection until they all add up to this pattern that you just can't ignore anymore. And this one is a special kind of brutal, isn't it? It gives you this tiny little sliver of hope, but it's a hope that almost never pays off. You wait for that call, you keep checking your phone, and all you get is silence. It's a broken promise that just makes the quiet feel so much louder. This whole one-sided chase, it's not just frustrating. It comes with an incredibly high emotional cost. And it's so important to understand the real damage this whole dynamic can cause. I mean, just look at this. This isn't just about a relationship not working out. This is about how that struggle starts to eat away at who you are. Your focus is gone, you start doubting yourself, and you can even spiral into some pretty dark places like depression. Your entire life starts to suffer. And here's the crazy psychological part of it all. By always being the one reaching out, the one chasing, you accidentally hand them all the power in the relationship. You become so predictable, so constant, that ironically, they might actually start to value you less. So, if trying harder is actually making things worse, what are you supposed to do? Well, the answer might feel a little weird at first, but it is incredibly powerful. It's about doing less, a lot less. This, this right here is the fundamental truth you have to let sink in. You cannot force love. You can't push someone into caring. If you have to try that hard, the foundation just isn't there. And realizing that, well, that's the first step to getting your power back. So, what does doing less actually look like? Okay, it's pretty simple, but it's definitely not easy. Step 1, just stop the constant calls. Step 2, pull way back on the texts. And step 3, create some real distance. Let them actually feel what it's like when you're not there. But why does this work? Well, it's a simple truth about human nature. We take constant things for granted. But absence always gets noticed. When you're suddenly not a predictable part of their day, it forces them to stop and think about what you actually mean to them. Seriously? Just think about the sheer psychological power of that. Your silence suddenly becomes way louder than all your calls and texts ever were. It creates a big question mark in their head. Wait, what happened? Where'd they go? And that question, that's the turning point. Now, by creating this space, you're not trying to force their hand. You're just creating the conditions where the truth of the relationship can finally come out. You're letting their actions or their lack of action give you the answer you've been looking for. And when you do this, there are really only two ways it can go. If they truly care, they're going to notice you're gone. They'll reach out, and then you have a chance to see what's really there. But if they don't care, well, their silence will just continue. And that silence, that's the clearest answer you could ever hope for. Either way, you win. You either get the connection you want, or you get the clarity you need to move on. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one simple idea. You shouldn't have to beg for genuine affection. It finds its way back on its own. If the love is real, your absence will pull them closer. It won't be a relief. And that's really what we want to leave you with. This whole journey isn't just about winning someone back. It's about winning yourself back, your self-respect, your focus, your happiness. So the real question is, what is your peace of mind worth? The answer to that will tell you exactly what you need to do next.